At Sustaincia, we launch sustainability.
This is Sustancia's online Google Meet, and we've already kind of done this yesterday, but we have it for August 5th, 6th, and 7th, starting at 9 o'clock and then ending around 6 o'clock. We were supposed to have a booth at MIECF Macau at Venetian, but that's been canceled due to the newest pandemic development over here. But it's okay. We have this scheduled talk everybody can see in the shared slides here. And welcome to come and join us at any of these times and participate in the discussion. So welcome, everybody.
Morning.
Okay, thank you.
So let me just start by introducing everybody. And I'll do it myself, and then I'll pass on to the next person, and they can also introduce themselves, and then they can also pass it to the next person that's already in the chat. So my name is Terrence Lee. I am the founder of Sustaincia, a local association that's looking into sustainable development. And our goal is to use technology and social engagement to help people interpret what sustainability is and then participate in different projects that we have. So I'll pass my introduction to Louis.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm Louis Chan. I'm an engineer, project manager, and involved in all the public-private projects, buildings, infrastructure, and we have the partnership under this company, Space Tax, around the world, America, Brazil, Europe, Asia. And we're here to contribute with Sustaincia with the partnership. Thanks, Darius, for having us. And yeah, that's why we bring it today with a special guest from Brazil, late at night there, Mr. Emilio Hoffman from Hyzon. Emilio, your turn.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me for this event. My name is Emilio. I'm from Brazil, and I'm an electrical engineer, and my experience is on the hydrogen fuel cell technology for around 20 years. And I represented here in Brazil for so many years a company from Singapore, but with operations in China, and Hyzon Fuel Cell Technologies. Okay. And then after that, with one of the founders from Hyzon, I co-founded 83 Dynamics, that is focused on air mobility, zero emission air mobility with hydrogen fuel cell drones and aircrafts, more for the future. Okay, so I'm glad to share my knowledge regarding to hydrogen technology and the movement that is happening all around the world right now. Thank you.
Wanted to do somebody else?
Let's see, Eduardo, is he's here, or Winston?
I'm here. Good morning. Hi, good morning, everybody. Morning. Everybody sleep well? I slept.
Okay.
Okay, I'm Eduardo. I'm a civil engineer, so based here in Macau, and from construction management background. And more recently, I'm a PhD student, and my topics of interest are sustainable construction and IoT, so smart technologies. So I'll be enrolled soon in a project related to the IoT things. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. How about Winston? Is he here? Okay, that's okay. I think everybody's already introduced himself a little bit here. I'm really happy to have Emilio here, and having a connection with Brazil is a really interesting event. So we actually have a couple of different connections with different cities around the world, but I think the key thing is we want to be able to do this kind of technology exchange, right? So to kind of learn from each other and have experts from different fields at different regions kind of come in and talk with each other. So this will be a start of this, hopefully. And today's actually track is about transportation. So the really interesting topic is the hydrogen technology. So we would love to hear a little bit more from Emilio on that. Perhaps you can describe a little bit of the experience that he had in Brazil and what kind of projects he's already started or found successful.
Okay.
I think it's good to have a good overview, Emilio, about the hydrogen technology and what the search is. Give it the the overview. How is the market? Because let me say a little bit. So like, well, I just reading a little update about myself about the carbon credit market, right? But what we realize is there's no consolidation for this market because we have a different parameters, and the market is flipped all the way since they created by Kyoto, the Kyoto Protocol years ago. But we didn't have any consolidation about this market. So Europe set their own rules, their own targets. China decided about this their targets too. So I mean, it's okay, man. Each place, each country have their own demand and their own needs, right? So it's hard to set a common sense for whole things, right? And the hydrogen, I remember we talked about this like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, right? When they started their office, and we go around. We met here in China, right? I remember that years ago, and we got this coming in backs from hydrogen technology. So tell us a little bit what's going on, what happened in between, how is the market now, and we can understand the projects, where can it fit the projects.
Okay. Well, hydrogen is a molecule that we cannot. It is everywhere, but it is not free on the nature. Okay, it's always bonded, linked to another element like water, like H2O, or methane, CH4. So it's not so easy to get the hydrogen, okay, freely. So we need to invest some energy to extract the hydrogen from several fuels, for example, like methane, gasoline, diesel, biodiesel, biogas, ammonia. Okay, so lots of fuels have hydrogen. Okay, some have carbon, more carbon than hydrogen, and some have much more hydrogen than carbon, like methane, that is CH4. Okay, so we are at the moment at the third wave of a trial to put hydrogen on economy, from industry, from and also transportation. Okay, so like 10, 20 years ago, there was some expectation to introduce hydrogen as a fuel for stationary applications, for mobility, okay, but that didn't happen with the speed that the market expected for several reasons, okay. So one of the reasons is that because we need to invest some energy to get the hydrogen from water, for example, through electrolysis, okay, the cost of electricity and also where this electricity come, like it can come from nuclear power, but also from coal, from thermal power using natural gas, or can come from wind power and solar power that is more, it's like a green hydrogen, okay, so less impact on the nature. Okay, so now with the costs of hydrogen, solar and wind farms decreasing all around the world, achieving around the price of around $20 per megawatt hour. Now it starts to get a better chance for hydrogen to achieve a better price, and then can be used for the industry, like for ammonia to produce fertilizers for agriculture, or steel in the steel industry that uses a lot of hydrogen, but comes from natural gas. And so there's a movement all around the world, not only for transportation, but also for the industry to decarbonize the industry. Okay, so because of the crisis, because of the COVID, Europe started to think about how can we have a better speed up the economy in Europe. Then they started to think about decarbonization more seriously, and the industry wanted also this. So then, okay, hydrogen can be the possibly the answer for some industries. And also the United States coming back to the Paris Agreement also helped on this movement. And it's going really, really fast with a lot of projects all around the world being announced to produce the green hydrogen. And also the market started to give names for depending on the source of hydrogen, like red hydrogen, blue hydrogen, green hydrogen. So it depends on the source, if it's a renewable energy source,
Right.
or if it comes from a fossil. Okay.
So the first point you said, so the hydrogen, the first thing is rely on the other fuel, right? Where are we going to extract the hydrogen, right? And the second thing is rely also on another energy expenditure. You need to spend energy to produce hydrogens, right? So this we rely also on the price of the energy source. You need energy to produce hydrogen, right? It's not just you just not get in the air, right?
Yeah.
So we need to correlate this and balance how much is the cost of this, right? As you said, back in the day, it's not worth you pay energy to produce hydrogens and after to produce energy again. So it doesn't match the price, right?
Yeah, hydrogen is used for lots of industries today. Okay, chemical industry as well as to produce the gasoline or kerosene, to have a cleaner gasoline, diesel, and cleaner kerosene. Okay, but the cost of 1 kilogram of hydrogen coming from natural gas is around $1, okay, per kilogram. And if we produce from electrolysis, okay, from electricity coming from wind power and solar power, and with the cost of electrolyzers today, the price will be around $4 to $6 per kilogram. Okay, so much higher.
Right.
But the technology of electrolyzers, they are modular, okay, and advanced the last years, so the price decreased, and also wind and solar power cost achieved a good price that can enable the following 2, 3, 4 years to achieve prices of $2 per kilogram or even less, depending on for example, the country also where where you can produce a high quantity of hydrogen. So
just to make it clear, the electrolyzer is the machine you use to produce hydrogen, right?
We have. This is the simplest way to produce hydrogen. Okay, electrolysis. Okay, something that we can do at school. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically we need water. Basically, we need water and electricity. There are some electrodes, and it splits the water into hydrogen and oxygen. Okay.
Actually, they split the molecule, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So, but it needs electricity. Okay. But the traditional way to produce hydrogen today is another process that is reformate. Okay, that mixes water and catalyst and the fuel like natural gas, and then it produces hydrogen with low cost. And this is the like 95% of the hydrogen produced all around the world comes from natural gas and gasification of coal. So there's a huge challenge to produce a green hydrogen, okay, from wind and solar or hydropower or biogas, for example, or ethanol in case of Brazil and some countries.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of
Okay.
source of ethanol there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
And-
I'm seeing the price of the technology going down, right? It's getting cheaper.
Yeah, with
as soon you have
sustainability.
Yeah, you have as soon you also have the price of the fuel to produce the energy to produce hydrogen. It's cheaper, getting cheaper too. You get more feasible to produce, right? Make more sense.
Yes, exactly. And also there's a tendency to put an additional price over hydrogen that comes from natural gas, and that you don't capture the CO2. Okay.
So that's the question. How you talk about different colors for hydrogen, green,
yeah, exactly.
pink, I don't know. Which how do you make this difference of these colors? I
Okay.
don't see any hydrogen color, right?
Yeah. Well, this is something that the market put some names for the hydrogen depending on the source. Like hydrogen coming from solar and wind power, for example, it's a green hydrogen. Okay. And hydrogen coming from produced from natural gas, it's gray hydrogen. But
What's the difference? One is green and another is gray?
Okay,
It's
green,
about the carbon.
Yeah, you don't emit carbon CO2 into the atmosphere with electrolysis using solar and wind power, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But producing from natural gas, you emit CO2.
So that's why you got gray, not green.
It's gray.
Okay.
From natural gas is gray. But if you capture the CO2, okay, from natural gas, then it's called blue hydrogen, okay.
Oh.
And if it comes from nuclear power, okay, you also don't emit any CO2, and it's called pink hydrogen, okay. But then it is starting to get some confusion and also some discussion regarding, okay, if I produce from hydropower, is it a green hydrogen? Or if I produce as a byproduct, get the hydrogen as a byproduct from a industry operation, is it also green hydrogen? Okay, because they would only release this hydrogen in the atmosphere. So I'm getting this hydrogen. So it started to be a problem to get this definition. Okay,
the approach and interpretation is different for each one, right?
Yeah, exactly. So probably the market will start to say about low carbon, okay, hydrogen, like 80% or 70%, because actually the green hydrogen, you don't get 100% of green hydrogen, because you need to transport hydrogen, and most of the time we will transport through trucks, and can be diesel trucks.
They got that carbon emission, so you consider the whole process.
Exactly. Or a ship, a vessel that will work on diesel too. So it's not 100% green hydrogen, okay, because of the transportation. But the industry is also looking for ships that can operate with ammonia, green ammonia that is produced from hydrogen, so that will also be used as a fuel for the ship to transport, for example, from Brazil to Europe, okay, or from Chile to United States or Australia to Asia, okay. So there's this tendency to not classify the hydrogen through colors, but just to say, okay, low carbon, okay, and then classify like 80% or 90% or 70%. Okay.
Good. Who is the big players nowadays? The bigger producers.
Okay. What we have is the producers. Of course, it's China, it's United States for general industry from natural gas. Okay, but for green hydrogen or this renewable hydrogen or cleaner hydrogen, we have the countries that will import hydrogen, and we have the countries that will export hydrogen. Okay, so in Europe and Asia, we have some movements from Germany, for example, to import hydrogen. Okay, as well as Japan, for example, to import hydrogen. So what are the countries that are candidates to export the green hydrogen or green ammonia? Okay, it's Chile in South America with a lot of solar power, Brazil with wind and also solar, although ethanol biomass can also be used for that, or hydropower. The north of Africa, Algeria and Morocco. Okay.
A lot of sun there. Yep.
And Australia also, to Japan or Asia, and also Saudi Arabia. Okay, that region. Okay,
Middle East, yeah.
To Europe. Yeah, Middle East to export to Europe, also from the solar power. Okay, so these are the main countries, and all of them want to sell to Europe. So probably it will go to Europe through Germany in Hamburg, Rotterdam in Netherlands, and also from the north of Africa, it will go by pipeline to Spain, and from Spain to some hubs in Europe. Okay, so we have basically the countries that will import and some countries that will export hydrogen. Okay,
I see. So I can see that's the two big groups, right? The countries that demand the hydrogen and the one that produces, right? The importers and the exporters, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, these guys that are important, these countries that import the hydrogens, because they have their own demand, or they are really creating this green hydrogen market. They need it or they use for other things. I don't know.
Okay, well, they will create this. Okay, for example, Germany, they have the goal to achieve the Paris Agreement.
Oh, okay.
2050.
For the protocols they signed before. Yeah. Okay.
So at Germany, they will be able to produce only 20% of the green hydrogen that they need to achieve the goal. Okay, so they need to import. So they are really taking seriously this goal to decarbonize their industry and transport infrastructure. So they need to import. Okay, France also is moving to decarbonize through hydrogen. Okay, but at the moment doesn't agree to import hydrogen. They think they can produce their own hydrogen, mainly because they have lots of nuclear power that can produce hydrogen without any CO2 emission. Okay, but in Germany, they close most of the nuclear power. Okay, so they need to import hydrogen to achieve the goal to decarbonize. So, and also they develop several technologies like electrolyzers to sell all around the world to produce hydrogen and other technologies. So there's much more interest not only on decarbonize the energy infrastructure, but also to develop new technologies and also fuel cells. Fuel cell is the technology that converts hydrogen and oxygen from the air, okay, into electricity, and the byproduct is water, only water. So this is something that they dominate the technology. Okay.
So yeah, I see. So you just mentioned about the fuel cell coming back, right? Back to the neighborhood again, right? After so many years. I can say like fuel cells are what eclipsed by wind generators, natural gas generators, and so why suddenly fuel cells come back to the market? That why it's like a German do invest more in the solar panels? Why how fuel cell can beat the other guys at this time?
what happened with the fuel cell is that
Actually, the fuel cell is different from the one that said
combustion
first.
engine,
The
electrolyzer.
yeah. What's the main difference?
Okay, it's just the opposite. So
Okay.
electrolyzer, that it's electrolysis. So you put electricity to split water into hydrogen and oxygen. And the fuel cell is the opposite. So you need hydrogen and oxygen from the air, and then
you get energy.
it produces electricity, and the byproduct is water, just the opposite. So it's a technology that started to be used in the 60s at the rockets, okay, from NASA. Okay, so the main purpose from the fuel cell was to produce electricity for the equipments from the rocket, okay, and the byproduct water the astronauts could consume, okay, drink that water, okay. But it was quite expensive to be used in a car, but very useful for the rocket, for space applications, okay. And why it took too long time for the fuel cells to, for example, right now they are starting to be potential application, okay. Basically, we needed some advancements on technology, okay, the fuel cells to be cheaper, smaller, more compact, and the cost was really, really high. So now it achieved a maturity on the technology that would just need scalability to have the cost down. But also the transportation, that was the main bet for hydrogen infrastructure. It needed like the egg problem, the chicken and egg. So
who comes first?
Yeah, who comes first? Hydrogen gas station or the car? So it was always a problem, okay, regarding to that. Now it changed because like Germany and some other countries, they're not putting the responsibility only on transportation, only on fuel cells. They're putting all the activities that industry, chemical industry has, or petrochemical companies have, or using hydrogen, but fossil hydrogen. So shifting from fossil hydrogen to green hydrogen or cleaner hydrogen, okay, was the main way, the easiest way to introduce hydrogen, okay, all around the world. And the companies, several companies, they wanted to invest on the hydrogen technology to make greener products, okay, greener steel, okay, or greener ammonia for agriculture. So the industry is really helping on this process.
And financially, start to make sense, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It's not just because you want to be green, right?
Yeah, and also the wind power, solar power, the cost decreased, so it's also helping to produce the green hydrogen, okay, with scalability. So everything started to connect, and now the fuel cell that is just part of the process for hydrogen to expand, okay, is starting to get more opportunities. But it's still today, it's not easy to introduce like a fuel cell technology application, okay, in the market. So we have some niche markets where the technology showed some commercial success, okay. Like 10 years ago, for example, the forklift trucks used at the distribution warehouses, okay, for distribution. They started to provide better operational costs, lower than lift truck powered by batteries, for example. Okay, so it is a commercial success. Because why? Because the warehouse where you have like 40, 50 lift trucks, okay, and you have a high cost operation cost. It is a place where you can put only one gas station, hydrogen gas station, and can recharge, fill the hydrogen tank in 5 minutes instead of 3, 4, 5 hours to charge a battery. Okay, so you had value for the customer. Okay, now with heavy load trucks, okay, it is also happening at the logistics. So there are some opportunities in warehouses or activities where you have a concentration of trucks, okay, like a concrete truck, garbage truck, or milk truck, okay, that you have the every day like 16, 18 hours operation, okay, that you need to go to the base and fill the tank in 10 minutes. Okay, so you have more advantage regarding to battery powered truck.
Yeah,
So
that's the thing. I remember a few years ago, like not actually a few, many years ago, we struggling to remember you promoted the technology, and as you said, you have niches of market of the technology, right? And I remember our conversation like, well, it's kind of hard to get the infrastructure.
Yeah.
First, so again, like who comes first, the egg or the chicken, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
So what? And how hard is this infrastructure, and how much we need to rely? We can't get gas for any corner, right?
Yeah.
And it just electrical cars, you just plug in the grid and we go, right? What do you need for hydrogen about the infrastructure? What do you need for hydrogen to launch and get mainstream?
Yeah. For heavy load commercial vehicles like trucks or buses, okay, urban buses, for example, that operate like 16, 18 hours a day or more, okay, it's much easier. You go for concentrated areas and put one infrastructure and makes this infrastructure, this gas station, like that can feed supply hydrogen to 100 trucks. Okay, you can make this hub, localized hub, very strong, and then like 50 kilometers away or 100 kilometers away or miles, you have another infrastructure that will be very strong also. Like one is for garbage trucks, okay. The other one is for milk or concrete or for urban buses, okay. And then you start to have some hubs, localized hubs, and they will be connected. And the best network is the one that you have the nodes very strong. So this is a more sustainable way to expand the network, okay. And you don't need the chicken and egg, okay.
Gonna grow organically, right? Not everywhere, as you said. Yeah. I think very strong nodes. I think that's the best definition, right? You have strong and concentrated nodes, and the works of where the demand is so high. So we create this routine, right? Like let's call this.
Exactly. For example, you have your daily operation. You use like 50, 100 trucks, and the consumption of fuel and the distance they run every day. So it's much easier for you to establish a hydrogen gas station, okay? And only one hydrogen gas station with 2 dispensers can fill a lot of trucks every day. But in the case of battery-powered trucks, okay, like Class 8, there's a quite big truck. They need for fast recharge between 1 and 1.5 megawatts for one truck to be recharged. And it will not be in 10 minutes or 1 hour, much more than that to recharge. So if you have a lot of trucks, you will need like 20, 30 megawatts of infrastructure, okay, to recharge the trucks. So this is when we start to have some issues for electrical mobility through batteries. Okay, for very small vehicles, it's fine. And you're not running a business, okay, like at your home, okay, you can just recharge during the time you're sleeping. But to run a business like 16, 24 hours a day where you shift,
scalability, right?
requires, you need a scalability, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes to okay, refill one truck and comes the other one. You cannot do that with a fast recharge battery, okay?
Right.
Battery.
Yeah, you got a good point. Actually, I've been kind of doing a little bit of research online while we were talking. One of the interesting application might be in the recycling and garbage collections.
Yeah.
So you have fleets of these trucks that are kind of moving around the city, but then they kind of consolidate back into a central location, right?
Exactly.
So that's actually one
yeah.
interesting thing. And actually, I'm going to share this with you guys. I just found something where there is actually a fund which the Macau government has. Let's see. I can put it in here.
I think it go under this the garbage, the littering that go under the biomass energy production, if I'm not wrong.
Well, actually, the whole thing is falling under the Environmental Bureau of Macau,
Right.
and one of the fund they have is called recycling and let me see, recycling equipment and vehicle support plan. So I'm just trying to bring this in here. Hold on a second.
Okay, sounds good. Oh, basically getting energy for garbage, right? And after you do your stuff, right?
Right. So that's where I kind of, hey, maybe that's interesting for us because
we can produce hydrogen from garbage.
Yeah.
Well, that too. But also I'm thinking, here it is. So it's in Chinese, but let me see.
Yeah, can you summarize for us what it's saying?
Yeah, no, they have a Portuguese version. Hold on a second. Yes. Here we go. Oh, I'm not able to bring this in. Okay, here we go. So the fund's reading actually has it in Portuguese. Maybe you guys can read it directly.
Okay.
I don't know if it's too small.
Yeah, give us some zoom here.
So the department is the Environmental and Energy Reduction Fund, right? And
hydraulic resources, okay. Industry protection, environmental protection, okay.
The Portuguese does not do it justice.
The
Chinese version, you can see, it didn't translate the whole thing. Let me highlight the part. Okay, so in Chinese here, it's right here. So it's saying for recycling industries, equipment, and vehicle subsidies plan, in order to alleviate Macau recycling industries' difficult operating environment, support for the recycling industries and the long-term sustainable development, and to accommodate and apply energy source reduction, waste reduction. It's hard to translate this part, and recycling categorization of waste management policies. This funding's ideal candidates should be working in the resource and waste recycling, categorizing and resource categorization processing, operations companies. So it's about helping recycling companies, right? And then based on this 2020 48 policy, transportation's departments, I would say the chief of the bureau, approved this plan, okay, and extended for another year to 2021 November 25. The funding effect and so on remains the same. So they had one before, and let me kind of this one. Yes, here we go. So you can see the trucks and the forklifts. Actually, forklifts can also use hydrogen, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So here,
Yeah, share the link with us in the chat here.
yeah, I'm trying to see if there's a port. Okay, there's sort of a
Got the
Portuguese
translation
version.
after from the
Okay, you
Chinese
guys
version
can
is more
check
complete,
the.
right?
Yeah, can you guys see it in the Google Meet chat? Let me bring it in there. There.
Yeah, here, yeah, got it.
Okay.
So I know some recycling companies, and I know they apply to this kind of funding quite often. So perhaps we can do some collaboration there.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
basically,
something
the government give the green light, right? So they show what it can do, and they will support, right?
Yeah, so we still have a couple months. They'll probably extend this, my guess is.
Oh yeah, but this COVID thing.
Yeah, exactly. So you just have to go to this place, which actually, yeah, I know what that is. Then, okay, it can get up
apply the
to
project.
let me think, 200,000 Macau dollars. Yes, almost a $250,000. It's not a lot.
Yeah, but anyway,
Can you buy I don't know. Can you buy a forklift with even that much? Maybe a forklift, maybe.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Probably.
how much US dollar is that?
A very
So-
very small forklift. Yeah, I wonder if they have the same poster in the Portuguese side here. No, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. We can get
Portuguese
it
site,
later.
but Chinese
Okay.
posters. So, but
Words,
I
yeah,
think
okay.
maybe at the end of November they will have a new policy version, and maybe they'll up the
Okay.
budget. I don't know, but yeah. So I've seen recycling companies buy, like for example, one company was buying a shredder. So a shredder equipment, they use it a lot to kind of shred the plastics, and so they were
Yeah.
using
I
that.
see.
I know. Yeah, but I've also, at the same time while we're talking, was looking at some other links as well. Here's one that's interesting.
So opportunities on the table, right? I mean, at least they
Yeah.
open for suggest.
So
for
this one's very new, May 21st. So there's this association, research center called the Macau. This is interesting. Latin America Renewable Energy Research Center. Okay. And yeah, they were saying in the metal steam breakdown process. Oh, I'm trying to.
stream
Yeah.
should be the full cell.
The metal steam breakdown process. There's like a hydrogen as a side, like a side product from this thing.
Oh, so the electrolyzer is the electrolyzer.
There's the reformer.
Yeah.
Actually, methane reformer, like.
Okay,
okay.
and so they were working with somebody in Zhuhai, some company, to kind of develop this thing. So, and this is really new, right? Like only in May. So maybe we can go and look up this this center. Another thing I saw that was interesting was this one. Let's see, this one, yes. Here's one from March. So very influential person in Macau, guided enterprise to develop new energy. And one of the things is you can see these hydrogen fuel cells actually. But this is a picture in China, not in Macau. So they were saying this is something that Macau can look into, because the greater Bay Area is looking into this hydrogen, and from nuclear power. So nuclear power generated hydrogen is right here. And yeah, so that's another. This is on the Macau newspaper, right? Very recent as well. So you can see like there's a trend of people kind of talking about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, very recent stuff.
Yeah, Macau has a good potential to have some hydrogen infrastructure.
Right.
And from landfills, also the trucks that come from China and back to base. Yeah.
Yeah, we have an incinerator. Is it possible to generate from incinerated garbage? I guess they would. The turbine would generate electricity and then electrolyze the some sort probably water, right?
Yeah, it can be used for that through electrolysis. Yeah.
And then that would be, I guess, a gray. Would that be gray? Yeah,
if it comes from waste, it can be considered like renewable, like green hydrogen.
Right.
That's a good time, because it just approved the new project where they're going to start to rebuild their incinerator here in Macau. They have a big one here, so they just approved the project. Should to kick off maybe this year. So
and since the trucks goes back to that plant anyways, right? Like the garbage.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Like the trucks themselves could run on the hydrogen fuel, and that solves that chicken egg problem, right? And
yeah, exactly.
How these garbage truck, if they do use these hydrogen fuel cells, how long do you think they can
operate?
Let's say, like, I guess, can they
the
do
range?
The company, right?
Okay, usually it's about 500 kilometers. 600
oh, that's more than enough for Macau.
Oh yeah. All day.
I was thinking, oh, you would say something in the hundreds, right? And you were like 500.
No, they have a good range.
Yeah, it's only like from one end of Macau to the other, it's maybe 40 kilometers, right?
Less than
maybe. So they can do easily 10 trips, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and another thing is that do the trucks, when they stop, can they regenerate, or is that not possible? Like with the electric vehicle, you can regenerate, but maybe hydrogen.
During the braking?
Yeah.
I don't know. Need to check with Hyzon.
My guess
probably,
is not, right?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. But it would at least
usually a hydrogen vehicle, electrical hydrogen vehicle.
Yeah.
They use a battery.
Yeah.
Or peak power. Okay, so for cruise power usually, and also the range.
Yeah.
It's the hydrogen fuel cell system, the hydrogen tank.
Okay.
And to accelerate the vehicle. Okay.
Right.
Then it uses a battery, a small battery.
Okay, that makes sense.
For peak power. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like a hybrid hydrogen battery electric vehicle. Well, that's interesting, because I guess for a battery only truck, not only is it heavier, right? And that's my guess. And also the refueling, right? So you have to charge the garbage collection truck. So they're out of service while they're charging. But in this case, you would have basically a very quick refueling, and then you're off again, right?
Yeah, you can carry more load. So for example, let me find here. There's a presentation from Hyzon Motors that they show like a truck and the space that is occupied by battery. So this is something that with hydrogen fuel cell system, you don't lose this space
Right.
to carry load, and carrying more loads,
Yeah.
cargo, you
Right.
have more money. Okay.
Yeah.
Hyzon Motors, the company that do the
Let me bring that up.
transportation projects, right? In China, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So close it here.
Let me.
What's the exact
find-
website? Oh, maybe you can share it from your side. Yeah.
Let me try to find their presentation here. Okay.
Louis, I think we really should move ahead with this, like garbage truck, hydrogen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I said Greenfield that, right?
Yeah.
Just announce it, and we have the tools.
Yeah.
The good thing, as Emilio said, the factory is here is in China.
Yeah. Right.
So get a good cooperation here.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And
I
we
was looking.
just find the. Okay, I found. Let me share.
Yep.
Just 1 second. Okay.
By the way, supposedly, if we were at the expo, I would like right now walk towards the garbage collection bureau and try to see if I can bring someone over.
Oh yeah,
that would have been the case,
supposed
right?
to be there, right?
Yeah, that would have been the case. But anyways, I'm trying to see.
Okay.
If
Can you see my this slide?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Let me close here. Okay. Just a comparison, like I think it's a Class 8 truck. Okay, it's quite big truck. So this is the reduced payload with the battery. Okay,
Right.
so it adds like 5 to 8 tons of weight.
Yeah.
Okay, to the truck. So you start to have some advantages like refilling time, more payload that you can carry with a hydrogen fuel cell system. Right. Okay. The infrastructure for like to recharge the batteries.
Right.
You have you increase the marginal cost because you need more power. Okay.
Yeah.
And more and more power to recharge several trucks.
Right.
So and in the case of a hydrogen gas station, you don't have such increase. You have this dispenser, you just put some more hydrogen tanks there, but not so much impact to expand the capacity. Okay.
Well, it's even worse for garbage truck because you also have the hydraulic system that's part of the garbage.
Oh, the machinery, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's very high power as well.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So there's
in the garbage case, the payload is changing. So with the empty truck, it's zero payload, but as you kind of keep going, the weight just keeps getting bigger.
So I mean, do you have a real case for this? Your company is doing something somewhere?
Well, actually, today I'm working more with H2 Dynamics. This is more focused on hydrogen drones and aircrafts. Okay,
sure.
But I follow very Hyzon. I'm following very near, not only from the news, but because Hyzon is a spin-off from Horizon, just like H2 Dynamics. So H2 Dynamics that I talk every day, the CEO is one of the founders from Horizon as well as Hyzon. Okay, so I'm here, but I don't run the company like Hyzon, like here in South America. They asked me these days, but I have too much things to do. Okay, yeah, I need to focus something, but but I am following them every day. Okay, and this is something that quite interesting. Of course, the hydrogen trucks for near term, the cost is higher. Okay, and medium term, it will be almost the same price as the diesel trucks. Okay, but the total cost for per mile, it will start to be very competitive in about 1 to 2 years. Okay, maximum, based on Hyzon CEO's presentations. Okay, and the one interesting he told was that 1 kilogram of hydrogen, okay, has the equivalency of about 6 to 7 liters of diesel. Okay, so
There are
if
no emissions, right?
yeah, to get the same range, okay, the same utility, okay, but in some cases, like in Europe, 1 kilogram is equivalent to 8 liters or more of diesel. So it can
Yeah.
cost with hydrogen less per kilometer or per mile with hydrogen. Okay, so there's a lot of potential. So with hydrogen trucks, because it needs to beat the electric, the battery powered trucks, but also it needs to beat the diesel trucks. So it has a based on them. Okay, the trucks have better performance, no emissions, no noise. It just needs to be the total costs of ownership and the price per kilometer and or per mile be just the same or better than diesel. Then there's no more reason to buy a diesel truck. Okay.
Okay, let me ask you. So if I ask you,
Yeah.
how is the payback? How when you pay off all these investments? Okay, I know different quantity of trucks and infrastructure. You put the infrastructure, you buy the trucks, you start to run the business. Have any case that they say when you're gonna get your money back?
Regarding to time, I don't know. Okay, the payback time. Okay, but the total cost of ownership and it depends on the business model. For example, in Europe, if I'm not wrong, you don't need to buy the truck. Okay, they do the leasing, and the leasing
I
you
see.
pay the
Yeah.
same
Okay.
price that you pay for a diesel truck. Okay, you pay for the hydrogen truck. So that's why it started to increase the sales of Hyzon's trucks in Europe, and for several applications, for buses and also for trucks, for milk transportation, for garbage. I don't know if concrete, but I know that there are 4 or 5 types of different trucks they have produced in Europe, in Netherlands. There's a partnership between, like, the fuel cells are produced in China, but integration they are doing in Netherlands for the trucks. Okay, and this is part of the business model that Hyzon is doing, because they're going for example, to United States, and they don't want to start from zero, to be a truck integrator. Okay, so they look for local companies that have experience on that, and they do a joint venture, just like they did in Europe. They can do it anywhere. Okay, a joint venture. Okay, Hyzon goes with their knowledge on powertrain, with fuel cells, with the integration, and the rest of the truck the partner does. So that's what they're doing in Europe, for example. Okay.
Oh, great! You have this case already set up with the joint venture.
Yeah.
Emilio,
Yeah.
I have one question about the storage. So about the infrastructure to storage the hydrogen. When you compare with diesel, and you want to run the same distance, okay?
Yeah.
So what is the volume you need to storage the hydrogen comparing with the fossil fuels?
Yeah, hydrogen has this challenge of storage, because to have a good range, you need to storage at high pressure or at liquid. Okay, so for high pressure, usually it is like 150 bars or 700 bars, quite high. So with 700 bars, it's around 500 kilometers, and the size is much bigger, like 5 times from chisel. But it's quite soft. Okay, let me share again. Now, I know that Hyzon has made some partnership with a company called Chart from United States, and they are specialized in liquid hydrogen. So with the liquid hydrogen tank, they can go to 1,000 kilometers. So less gas stations are needed, okay, to go from one part to another one. So let me try to find an example of, let me see, I don't know if it is in media, just to show where the hydrogen, the tanks are installed. I don't know, let me see, heavy trucks. I'm not sure if they show here. No, but usually it's this part of the truck that you have the hydrogen tanks. If I go to LinkedIn, let me go to LinkedIn, then it's easier to show you. Okay, let me go to Hyzon here. I mean, they have lots of videos. Let me see here. Okay. No, this one. For example, this one. Okay. This one. Oh, okay. This part. Oh, it doesn't show here.
Okay, you want to show the tank behind
this is the area where we have the hydrogen tanks. This one is better. Okay. Let me see here. Okay. We have the fuel cell system here, all this, and the hydrogen tanks here. Okay. So, and this is for a quite big truck. Okay. So
this is high pressure, right?
Yeah, very high pressure, like 300 or 700 bar. Okay. And for aircrafts, this is, the liquid hydrogen is the
best option.
Yeah, the best option. Okay, but I wouldn't say like the big aircrafts, like from Airbus or from Boeing. That will be a challenge. Okay, because although hydrogen has a very good, and come back here. Okay. For some kerosene has like 43 megajoules per kilogram. Okay, and hydrogen has 120 megajoules per kilogram, much higher. But when you transform it, when you store it in a liquid hydrogen tank, then because of the weight of the tank, then it goes like to 20 megajoules per kilogram. You lose a lot of the energy density. Okay, gravimetric energy density. So this is an issue for air mobility. Okay, but they will achieve a good range. Okay, but better than battery powered aircrafts. Okay, but it is quite a challenge for that. So this is something that we are researching at H2 Dynamics, like here, this aircraft concept. So instead of having a hydrogen tank inside the aircraft, we have like pods. So each pod has its own propulsion system, and also the hydrogen fuel cell. Let me see here, just to show you. This one is quite interesting to show. So inside this, we have the hydrogen tank, and also the fuel cell that converts hydrogen to electricity and powers the engine. Okay. So one of the advantages is like if it fails, one or two, okay, we have several. Okay, so it is distributed
Okay.
power.
You have
Okay.
backup always.
Yeah, a lot of backups. Okay, so the issue to have like a hydrogen tank inside and lose space there for passengers. So we avoid that, and we can refill very fast. So this is
And I believe when you develop this technology for airplanes, for sure, all the other industries will benefit, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What do you know about the buses? Do you have any case for buses?
For buses, well, this most of the projects in the last 10, 15 years happen in California and also Europe, okay, with hydrogen buses. So there are lots of them in Europe cases. In Brazil, as a coincidence, the first hydrogen bus, I supplied the fuel cells from Hyzon to the Brazilian university and startup that developed the hydrogen buses. And then in some way, this knowledge went to Hyzon, and Hyzon started to develop heavy load vehicles like trucks, but also is now working with the buses also. So, for example, they have some order, I think, from a mining company. So usually mining companies, they have lots of buses.
Have load, yeah.
Yeah, that they like 40. I visited last year Anglo American here in Brazil for another project regarding to drones for dams. But as I visited and I saw they have like 40 buses that every day takes the workers to the site. Yeah, to the site. Okay, they get them at home and take to the mining site, and then in the end of the day they get back. So
hydrogen fuel cells buses.
No, in that case it is diesel. Okay, but there's a lot of opportunity for them to convert to hydrogen because such companies like mining companies, steel companies that produce steel, they want to decarbonize their activities. So now they are looking for hydrogen technology for that, even for the big trucks from the mining activity. So I think Hyzon had.
Let me give a scenario. Like I'm thinking about because Macau is kind of having such a electrical bus fleet, right? What do you think if they get this hydrogen generator to charge these buses or electrical vehicles, whatever? It's better. It's very efficient. You charge that from hydrogen or convert the vehicle to be run by hydrogen. How you see?
Like you mean combustion engine?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there are not many combustion engines that can work on pure hydrogen. Okay, it will need to be developed for the buses. Okay, but usually, what justify hydrogen to be used for mobility is the high efficiency from fuel cells. Okay, because the fuel cells, they have efficiencies over 50-60%. Okay, to convert the chemical energy from hydrogen into electricity. Okay, and a combustion engine, usually it is around 20-25%. Okay, and so much lower efficiency. That's why fuel cell is the alternative to convert hydrogen to electricity and then mechanical energy, like for electrical motor. Okay. So usually it's better to have a fuel cell system in a truck. Okay, but in some cases, yeah, like you already have a combustion engine that works with methane, for example, or natural gas, then you can add some hydrogen to have a better performance and
There's a mix.
less emission. Okay, so can be also used for that. Okay.
Yeah, I think Terrence was showing us a trash truck, right? Yeah, that one.
That's the typical one I see on the street, and
Mhm.
it's made. It looks like a German brand, MAN, German brand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know one of our member actually has a connection with the CSR company, which is the cleaning company that takes care of all the garbage in Macau. So we'll have to see if we can connect
Mm-hmm.
with them somehow. Yeah, I think the idea that we had before is very interesting, where it looks like even this truck might even be able to upgrade, perhaps. I don't know, but at least the range that Leo mentioned is definitely more than enough for Macau, and yeah. So the good thing is with these trucks, they actually, I'm not sure if they're on diesel or not, but maybe even on natural gas already. But anyways, they, you know how Macau streets are very, very narrow. So these trucks going by the neighborhoods, they're emitting a lot of gas, and just I'm sure a lot of people are just not happy about that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Sure.
so hydrogen would be,
And the
would be,
noise,
yeah,
I can't
right.
listen sometimes.
Yeah. Is it less noisy actually? That's interesting. Would a hydrogen garbage truck be more quiet compared to other
Mm-hmm.
ones? I would think so, right? Because it's fuel cell.
Yeah,
So
don't make that
there's-
noise,
Yeah.
the combustion
No
noise.
moving parts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right. Yeah.
And that will be an advantage because most of the times they go for the garbage. It's nighttime, so
Oh yeah,
yeah, it will be yeah. Every time you can easily in the nighttime you can easily hear them, right? Very
Yeah.
easily. So when you are at home, so yeah.
Yeah. There's
it's a
another
good
thing.
application.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing that these garbage trucks I see face often is blocking traffic. So
Oh,
yeah, so because of the narrow streets and all usually just one way, so the garbage men usually have to like rush out to get something and drop in the truck, and yeah, it's always like it's what I'm saying is it's stationary a lot.
Mhm.
Like yeah, and they don't turn off the engines, right? So yeah. Actually, fuel cells, if your engine is not running, well, I would say if your engine's not running, if it's electrical, then there's no energy use, right? If it's not moving. So actually the range is even better because you're stopping a lot of times.
Yeah,
oh
exactly.
yeah.
The operating mode,
Yeah.
for diesel.
Yeah.
That's why, for example, in Europe, some applications, 1 kilogram of hydrogen is equivalent to 8 liters or more of diesel. Okay,
Right.
because of the
Yeah.
lower efficiency of just stop and go from diesel trucks. Okay, in urban areas. Okay,
Right.
and also some of them have like refrigerators. Okay, or the garbage truck has those equipments to compact the garbage. Okay, so it needs extra energy auxiliary unit, so the fuel cell system can be more efficient also. So the less fuel would be the cost per kilometer or the range, it would be better. Okay, so
Can
it
you
can
say
save every kilometer, save money.
hydrogen is a I see about your talk is a coming back, right? During the Olympics here in Japan in Tokyo, all the fleet for the transportation for the athletes They're using full cell, right? I think Toyota is sponsoring the technology, right? So we see coming back. But on the whole matrix, energy matrix around the world, hard to say, but how much hydrogen is represented there? Let's say 1 to 10. 10 is fuel. How much is the scale? I mean, diesel. Let's say 1 to 10 is diesel. How you score hydrogen?
Okay, for energy purposes, 0. Okay, today.
Okay, still in the
0.
early stage.
Okay. If we include industry, it has some participation. So the expectations, like for 2050, hydrogen will represent like 20% of the energy in the world. Okay.
20.
Yeah, 20%. Yeah.
That's a lot, huh?
There's a lot. Yeah, it's quite room for business.
Yeah. If I'm not wrong, the hydrogen that is used for today for industry is like half of the energy used for petrol. Okay, I don't know. I don't know exactly if it is regarding to the market share. Okay, in billions of dollars or trillions. I don't know exactly. I know that is something like half, but I don't know exactly what it is exactly. So
yeah, but I can't say, right? It's not a trend anymore. It's already it's ongoing, right? It's not a Don't get me wrong, but it's not a lab thing. No, experiment. It's not a lab try. No, it's still in the early stage, first steps. But let's say again, but come back to stay.
Yeah, the only challenge for hydrogen today regarding to technology is the storage. Okay, to find better ways to store hydrogen. Okay.
Yeah, look at Terrence. He did a good job there searching.
Wow. Yeah, probably biomethane. Probably. Oh, fuel cell. Yeah.
From Hyundai. Yeah. I'm looking if there's any ones from Brazil and Portugal, because, by the way, there is a tax incentive to import products from Brazil or Portugal or any Portuguese countries into Macau. There's zero import tax.
Oh.
So, yeah, I don't know. How can we move forward? Should we look to see if there's truck companies are willing to experiment this?
Well, I can help on the network with Hyzon guys, for example. Okay, the CEO or someone from Hyzon, because Asia is a market, especially China. They are already work and will be very easy to connect with Macau with you guys. Okay. There's some efforts to expand to Europe, to United States and Australia. Okay. Other challenges, but I'm sure that for Macau, they can connect very easily with you guys.
Yeah, okay. I think that's interesting. We on this side need to see what kind of leverages we have here.
I need to do some homework, right?
Yep. But I think there's some opportunity here.